In today's video, you will be discovering the 3 foundational secrets to kickstarting very fast fat loss with fasting. Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Alec. I'm a health and exercise scientist, and I want to be breaking down some foundational secrets that will really help you to rev up your metabolism, really just create a very healthy, strong foundation for your health overall. Second, everything that I say in this video, please be sure to conduct your own research on your own behalf. Everyone's health situation is very unique to themselves. Consult a doctor first. Verify the things that I am saying. Although I've done a lot of research in what I'm about to share with you, not just by studying it, but by also applying it, I still want you to take the initiative to look into how this can apply in your own unique situation. So, fat loss, fasting, how can we use these things to help you get the body, the physique, and the health that you want? Well, fasting, despite its name, there's nothing fast about it.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
You're spending basically an entire day or multiple days just not eating anything. There's also a term called intermittent fasting. You essentially are taking blocks of time where you are not eating and then having smaller periods of time where you allow yourself to eat. One of the most famous examples of intermittent fasting is it's like a 16-hour fasting window where you don't eat for 16 hours. Now, a lot of people hear this and they're like, holy crap, not eating for 16 hours? That's a lot of time for not eating. However, if you reframe it where you're viewing it as, I will only eat for 8 hours, that's not too bad. You can go multiple days without eating. That's like, you could do like 72-hour fast. People have done like one whole 24-hour period without eating, and then they'll do an intermittent where they only eat for the 8 hours, then they'll do another day. I feel like that would be a little bit more difficult if you're just gonna sit down and say, I'm not gonna eat for 3 days. It makes things a little easier, because then it's like food's not even an option. It's like, no, I'm not even eating. Whatever aligns with your schedule, things like that. You see, when you eat or when you don't eat, it causes one of two things to happen. When you eat, it's triggering the signals in your body telling it, hey, I gotta grow. Because when you're eating, it's taking that fuel and it's trying to either store it, possibly as fat or just as extra energy that could be stored either in the liver or within the muscles themselves. But when you are fasting, it's not telling the body to grow. It's really further telling the body to recover. It's like you can imagine if going to work, you got all these people working, and sort of throughout the day, you see the janitorial staff or like the cleaning staff. They're going through, might pick up a little bit trash, a little bit of things here and there. They're there. They're kind of like in the background. They're not getting in people's way. But then when people leave work or when there's no one there, that's when they bring out the buffer. They're like getting the floors and they're vacuuming everything. They might be like wiping down the windows more. They're making sure all the trash cans are empty. And that can only happen when there's no workers there. Because imagine you're at work and then you got the guy like buffing the floor and stuff, or the person that's vacuuming, or you're trying to type on your computer and then the person lifts up the keypad and is like wiping down the desk as you're working at the desk. It'd be a nuisance. No one would want to work like that. And the same thing is true for your body. You'd get these conflicting messages, these conflicting things that are taking place, and it's just no bueno. So, with all that being said, what are these 3 things? What are these 3 foundational things that you need to keep in mind when it comes to fasting and incorporating it into your own lifestyle? Well, the first thing is understanding that whole concept that I was talking about before with the timing and stuff. The first variable is when. When are you going to start eating? When are you going to not start eating? These are things that are very unique to each individual person. I remember when I was in college, I had this really early AM class, and I'd wake up in the morning, I'm like, start scarfing down my food, and I get to class, and I'm just like, oh, this class sucks, it's so early, and I'm feeling like tired and drained. But then there was one morning where I woke up, and I had to like hammer out an email real fast or something, and then I had to like pack my backpack for that day, so I had to do all that, and the next thing I knew, I'm like, oh crap, I gotta run to class. And I was like, maybe I can grab food, and I was like, I didn't cook food the night before, crap. So I'm like, all right, screw it, I'm just gonna go to class. And then I go to class, and I'm walking there, and I'm feeling pretty awake, feeling pretty focused. feeling pretty on point. And I get to class, and the next thing I know, yeah, it's like 1 p.m. And trust me, I was feeling hungry, but I had these like waves of hunger that kind of came and then kind of went, getting a workout in, and I'm like reflecting on the day, and I'm like, what did I do that helped me just feel so on point for that day? And I realized it's because I skipped breakfast. I was like, wow, that's fantastic. I might have to keep trying to do this. And, you know, I practiced it on and off, but the timing of it was something that was very crucial. I found that for me personally, when I didn't eat in the morning, right after waking up, I just had this like clarity of focus. Even right now, I woke up at like 4:30 a.m., went to the gym, came back, and I had this idea of like, oh, I want to do a video sharing what I've learned about fasting. And I just came downstairs, hit record, and what time is it right now? Yeah, it's almost 7:30. Haven't eaten yet. Holy crap, this guy went to the gym and he woke up early and he hasn't eaten anything yet. It's like, yeah, it's perfectly fine. When I do eat, I'm getting all the nutrients and stuff that I need. And that's the second factor right there, is what you are eating. Another thing that I had recognized while I was practicing my morning fast experiment there in college, even till today, but I found that in the morning when I was eating, it was like a bowl of cereal and like a bagel and maybe a protein shake. But like with the kind of food that I was eating, those are very high carb, very high sugary foods. And when I ate those things, for some reason in my own body, it just started to trigger these signals that was actually telling my body to like wind down, to relax, and get sleepy and tired. Like, I don't know why, but if I have sugar in anything, it could be in coffee. Like, just drink my coffee black, but if I have sugar in my coffee, it like 100% negates any of the benefits from the caffeine. I just feel tired. It just feels like I tasted this like black bean water. And it's like, no, I wanted some coffee, I wanted some caffeine, but the sugar in it totally negates that up energy feeling. And some people have actually used this to their advantage, where they will specifically just only eat high carb foods late at night. Now, this is not true for all types of carbs. There's such thing as like a complex carb. Very difficult to understand, kind of moody at sometimes, but it's not their fault, just complex carb. It's basically, it has all this energy in it, but the body's not able to access it super quickly. It goes through a complex process, hence complex carb, to break down that energy so that the body can use it. But if you have something like a simple sugar, it's not their fault, they're dumb, but no, but if you have like a simple sugar, it's very easy for the body to take that energy and then utilize it. But so like in the morning, if you had some like complex carbs, like oats, for example, you may not get immediately tired right after that. But knowing when to eat and what you're eating, those are two very influential things that will help to either enhance your fasting experience or make it a terrible time. So when you do start to eat, sticking with things that are high in protein or high in fats, it's actually leaning into the process of these different hormonal effects that are happening within the body. So for example, when you're fasting, insulin levels begin to go down because there's no glucose in the blood. And insulin, not only does insulin suppress the suppressing hormone, I gotta think of a better way to phrase it, but there's a hormone in the body that tells your body, hey, I'm feeling full, I'm feeling satisfied, I don't feel like eating. There's a hormone in the body that actually does that. It tells the body, hey, I don't feel like eating right now. But insulin stops the body from recognizing that. So you could be feeling full, but if there's a lot of insulin in your bloodstream, the body's not picking up on that signal. So when you're fasting, insulin levels are going down, so you actually feel fuller longer. You'll actually feel like not eating because those insulin levels are down. But then another awesome thing that happens is the body starts kickstarting this like ketosis process. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't done too much research into what ketosis is, how it works, but essentially it's a different form, different way that your body utilizes energy. It's basically like a car switching from gas to electric, or from like gas to like nitrous or something like that. It's doing the things it needs to do in order to keep functioning, but where it's getting that energy from is from a different place. And the brain works really, really well when it's in that ketoic state. So when you're fasting, the ketosis process is going up, and the way that you can maintain that and keep that going is by eating very high protein foods and very fatty foods. Now, fat will not make you fat, so don't worry about that. That's a whole different topic that I'll try to cover at another time. But fat will not make you fat, and then eating the high protein, those two things do a really good job of keeping those insulin levels low. So when you do start to eat, you can do a protein shake. Something that's not high in carbs. If you drink the protein shake and it's like, it's so delicious and sugary or whatever, very sweet, you might want to find a different type of protein to eat. I love this. There's this brand that I use. It's a 100% pea protein, and it's literally just, there's nothing in it, no artificial flavorings. It tastes like a stale pretzel with no salt, and I don't know, I like it. It's got a good amount of protein in it, so I drink it, but there's no flavoring to it. That, for example, basically all protein, no carbs, or if there are carbs, it's very minute amount. And then for healthy fats, eat an avocado, have a strip of bacon, eggs. Literally those three things right there. That's like a awesome breakfast. Shoot, feeling hungry? I might eat that myself. Real quick, so we talked about when you should eat. Should you start eating early in the morning or should you wait till later in the day? We talked about what you should eat. You want to stick to those higher protein foods, things that are much lower in fat. Stay away from simple sugars, simple carbs. If you're going to eat carbs, stick to the complex ones and maybe eat those towards the end of the day when you're getting ready to go to sleep. And the third factor, so when, what, and now it's how. How much? Because you could be doing the fasting thing, and when you do start to eat, let's say you eat like 4,000 calories, what was the point? You just ate all the calories back that you just burned off throughout the day, and you just kind of basically like dug one hole and you just filled the dirt of another hole and put the dirt in another. Why would you do that? That's kind of what a lot of people do when it comes to fasting. Sure, you didn't eat throughout the whole day, but then you ate a pint of ice cream, which is pretty awesome. But then you ate a pint of ice cream and ate this big old dinner, and you're like, well, because I didn't have breakfast, maybe I'll eat breakfast right now. And then it's like, well, what was the point? Why'd you do that? So you don't want to overeat. So how much you eat is very important afterwards as well. Definitely try to eat, like when you are eating, you're getting the high protein foods, you're getting the foods with the complex or with the healthy fats, but the food itself should be very, very nutritious, because when the body's going through that recovery process, and then when you do start to eat and it's going through that growth process, you need to make sure it has the things it needs in order to continue to function properly. So the janitor example, you got people not working, janitors going through and they're cleaning everything. Oh man, they're like the walls are squeaky clean, you could eat off the floors. But you could imagine after one day of an intense clean like that, they probably went through a lot of cleaning products. So they're gonna need more of those cleaning products. And if they keep running out of those products or they're running low, they're gonna be cleaning less. And then at some point, they're just not even gonna clean certain things. And the same is going to be true for your body. Just certain parts, certain things just aren't going to be happening. Certain recovery processes are just, it's not going to be there because the body doesn't have the resources that it needs. That kind of goes back to the what you eat sort of thing, not as much for the how much to eat circumstance. But yeah, keep in mind, how much you eat is very important. And you can determine like a good weight loss calorie number by doing some basic calculations. I'll try to include some links in the description of how to calculate your basal metabolic rate, and then if you include how active you are throughout the week, it'll spit out a number of like, okay, if you eat this many calories, you will maintain your weight. And a very simple trick is to just subtract 300 from that after 7 days. To do the numbers more easily, after 10 days, that'll be 3,000 calories, which is pretty much equivalent to how much 1 pound of fat is worth. So if every 10 days, theoretically, you are in a 3,000 calorie deficit, then your body should be burning fat, assuming that you're getting the right nutrients in, assuming that you're staying active, because when you don't eat and you don't move, for some reason, the body just starts breaking down your muscle. And that's a very terrible process. That's a downward spiral that you don't want to get into. So when you are fasting, you want to make sure you are still being active, you're still moving. That will negate any muscle loss that may happen. Because you could even be eating like a regular schedule, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But if you are sedentary, you aren't moving majority of the day. Doesn't matter if you're eating 100% protein and all of what you're doing. If you don't move, the body will not try to keep that muscle on you. It takes a lot of energy to have a lot of muscle on your body. The body's always trying to be super efficient with how it's using its energy. So if you don't use it, you will 100% lose it. That is boom, right there. When it comes to your muscle mass, that's where that saying 100% lines up with. If you don't use your muscles, you will lose your muscles. If you don't try to stay flexible, you will lose that flexibility. If you don't try to maintain good cardio health, you will lose that good cardio health. So, before I continue to go on other random tangents, the 3 factors for having a fast, very successful fasting routine is you gotta know when you will start to eat. You gotta understand what you are eating and then how much of that food you are eating. By implementing those 3 things, I guarantee you'll have such great success with practicing and incorporating fasting into your daily routine. On a side note, the thing that's going to be really helping you on this journey is you should go into these situations, you should be practicing these things with the state of mind of experimenting. Exercise scientist right here. I've gotten great results and not so great results, but no matter what you implement, you will get a result. And it's not good, bad. It's like, it just is what it is. So if you try out the morning thing and you don't eat any food in the morning and it's like, wow, I'm feeling really crappy, I don't think it worked. It's not a bad thing. You just learned from that. Who knows? Maybe it was how you prepared the night prior. Think of it like a scientist. Experiment, tweak things, be consistent with things, document, learn as you go, and I guarantee you will find something that works for you, and you will see a lot of success and get those muscles going, and you'll be feeling fantastic throughout the day. All right, thank you guys so much for watching, but what I would really like is if you like this video, if you liked it, comment below some of the goals that you have for your fitness and your health, and hit that subscribe button. Share this with other people. That's all I ask. I'm not going to be pushing or promoting any products or anything like that. I just really genuinely want to help provide the information that's in this brain, get it to you guys so you can get some fantastic health, dominate the day, and be looking good and feeling good too. That's what it's all about. You want to look good, you want to feel good. I want to help with that. So thanks so much for watching. Look forward to seeing you in the next video.